What is up, guys? This is Artshaken again, and today I'm going to be doing a video on Nekros Prime. Now, Nekros Prime I really love to play, especially when I'm farming resources. Usually I go to Jupiter. I think it's like a defense mission like Io or something like that, which has become a little bit more popular, but I used this way back in the day. This was my main spot for farming Oxium, which, as everybody knows, is kind of a little bit of a pain to go ahead and farm. And since there's not always a chance to go ahead and defeat that off-spray before he goes into self-destruct mode, the few that you do kill, depending on if you're running a random team or by yourself, Nekros is going to give you a little bit more. Now let's go ahead and jump into the build. Now, as you can see, I already have 3 Forma on it. I don't even have enough capacity to throw on another Exilus spot. Now, what I'm throwing down is Rejuvenation for team health or health in general, since you're always going to need that. But I do have on health conversion. Now, if you don't know where to get it, you're actually going to have to go to, what is it, Cephalon Maris, and go find his enemies and scan them for more points. Now, basically what this does is every Hearth orb grants you 450 armor, stacking up to 3 times. Taking damage will consume a stack after 3 seconds. Now, this will stack, and it'll have 3 golden orbs surrounding you. So if you've seen those orbs around random enemies, this is the mod. Now, this is actually built for only Despoil. It's not built for his mini drones, the Shadow of the Dead. So let's go ahead. So Desecrate. Basically what this does is it forces fallen enemies around you to drop additional loot. Now, no, this isn't identical to Hydroid's version, but it is a very good version. Now, the extra loot percentage is at 54%, which isn't bad. The energy per enemy is only 10, which isn't bad either, and 25 meters is actually pretty decent if you ask me. Now, if you look at the Shadow of the Dead, you can go ahead and throw these down. The decay isn't too bad, and I mean, pretty much all the abilities for him are pretty good, but it's mainly based around Desecrate. Now, if we go ahead and take a look at Despoil, this is the augment that you're going to have to get from the syndicates, is it no longer consumes energy, which is good, because you're going to need that energy, but it consumes health instead, hence the rejuvenation. Not only that, when you pick up health orbs, since Despoil is taking away the health, and you pick up health orbs, since Despoil brings out a lot of health orbs from enemies, you're going to do additional damage, or do additional armor. So if I'm sitting at 94, I can get this up pretty high. Now, I am doing just a pretty much generic build. All you really see is duration. The only other thing that I have is more energy, just for spamming anything else that I have. Mostly it's for quick thinking. So the more energy I have, the more energy that it drains for lethal damage. Now I am going to bring the comb, but I do bring him for survival missions. I'm just going to go find like a place to camp where the door behind me is locked. Throw out a Zenostar or hold down the fort with like a comb or another weapon that you prefer. And just go ahead and do your Desecrate. And when you feel overwhelmed, you have Terrify to scare them off. Now I'm going to go and show you, I'm working with 155 enemies. Just because I'm actually rank 25, that's as high as it goes right now for me. I'm not pausing the enemies, and I'm not going invincible either, just to show you. And I haven't even tested this. I hope he doesn't die right off the bat, honestly. So I'm going to go ahead and get some energy. I'm going to throw on Desecrate. And I'm going to bring out my Zenostar real quick, just to show you guys the survivability. Now, obviously, I'm not going to stay still the whole time. And the more damage that they do, I'm also picking up health. Now, you see those orbs floating around me? Uh-oh. See, I'm looking at... not terrible. But you're not usually going to bring this to something high level like this. So what I'm going to show you is what I would normally bring it to. Let's see here. Let's bring this to a normal number. Let's go 75. I'll kill all enemies real quick. Now 75 is pretty much, in my opinion, the middle ground when it comes to sorties or other missions. I don't really bring them too much to the, like a Kuba Flood or anything like that. I usually bring something else. But as you can see, I can jump into the Hoarder Knight. I'm definitely going to take damage for sure, but I'm not going to take as much damage. Now keep in mind, every single time you have this Desecrate going on, it'll turn off. One, when you go into nullifiers, and two, I believe, when you get knocked, when it takes my health all the way to where it has to use the mod Quick Thinking to use my energy to stop them. So let's go ahead and really jump into it. Alright, so I'm going to throw out my Zenostar for damage. I'm going to hop around like a kangaroo or Yoda or, you know, kind of whatever you want to think about. I'm just going to go ahead and do damage here. Oof. Ah. Now I'm hoping, so I went ahead and took down my health all the way to the bottom. I'm actually going to go ahead and pick up some health orbs. Now you can see the health conversion has worked, and now I have 450 times 3 additional armor. So now when I jump out here, and I have these enemies bombarding me, I'm taking quite a bit less amount of health being taken away. Now obviously it's still quite a bit, you want to be careful with that, but it's more of an equilibrium. Now if you guys are like, oh, you know, this probably doesn't look like the greatest, let's go to something normal, like farming, like what he's good for. 40 is usually around the level of enemies that whatever mission you end up going to, trying to farm Oxium or Plastids or whatever it is that's out there. Level 4 enemies to Nekros with this build is nothing, and since you're farming for resources, and let's say you have your back up against the wall, then you're pretty much just sitting there spamming them, well not spamming, but killing them, trying to gain resources, and you can just pretty much run around and doing whatever. Now they made a couple of changes over the years with Nekros, but it still pretty much holds true. And with the Zenostar, with the blast damage that it's doing, it's just knocking them on their butt. So it's not like you're going to have to do too much damage. You have a strong weapon, Zenostar, whatever, you're pretty much going to be killing everything anyways. And I'm just going to go around and pick up whatever it is I need to pick up. Now, as your health goes down, you want to make sure you're picking up those orbs that's going to give you. That way your health conversion, a little bitty, what are they like? They're like stones, like cheese blocks. Ooh, golden blocks. Oh yeah, they look more like a golden nugget that the Federal Reserve has hidden away. Anyways, that's usually how that's going to go. And then let's go ahead and just simulate a little bit more of these guys. Since I've already killed a couple enemies, I'm going to go ahead and do the fourth ability, Shadow of the Dead. Now this is going to be really helpful. Even though it's only 7 enemies, it's going to give you kind of like a buffer zone when it comes to taking damage. The Shadow of the Dead is going to take damage, it's going to deal out damage, it's going to keep you safe, and as you can see, I mean, I'm not taking any damage. And even if I did, I'm just going to stand here for a second. I mean, you have a whole bunch of things that are going to rejuvenate your health, like the health conversion, or doing Desecrate, which has enemies drop health orbs. I mean, let's go ahead and look at the health of these guys. I mean, not too bad. They're pretty beefy when it comes down to it. I mean, the duration is quite a bit. 7 is plenty. You can also do Terrify, that'll scare them. And then when it comes down to the first ability, I don't have any more energy. I guess I should go pick up energy. Now, when you run out of energy, you don't have to worry about your Despoil running out, because you have that augment on there now as well. When it comes down to the first ability, Soul Punch, it's actually going to do quite a bit of damage as well. Just stay still. don't have anyone left. Oh, looks like I got one guy left. Come back. Obviously, you're going to have to build for the first ability if you really want his Soul Punch to do the trick. But it's just enough to have just a couple of the your shadows around to just kind of like buff out the zone. That way you can still gain energy, or you can just go ahead and play with Zinrak, which will gain energy for you. Now it's more of a multi-use Warframe that just picks up resources. That's all, in my opinion, he's really good for. But that is all I got for today. As always, hit that like and subscribe button, and if you guys have any comments or questions, preferably suggestions on builds, whether it be weapon or Warframe, please let me know. And as always, you guys have a good one, and be safe out there, guys.